but they're measuring at 70 amps. So this thing is just like punching 70 amps of current through your system. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. And for those of you that are new, my name is Luke, and today we're going to be going over all of the different test functions for your Klein Tools AFCI GFCI Tester. We're going to go over what all the different faults mean and how to correct them. So hopefully that can help some of you out there try and sort out some of the faults that you're having. So with all that being said, let's get into it. I thought this was just going to be reviewing a tester, but I think there's a lot more of an interesting side to arc fault protection than I realized, and it's more integrated into my life than I realized. I know that because while testing this tool, I kept tripping the main breaker in my panel because most of the breakers in my panel have arc fault protection built into them. GFCI, I think, is something that we see more common, at least on the YouTube world, and I think a lot of people are really familiar with GFCI from their outlets. I think there's a lot of really good information on them. When I was looking for GFCI testers, I came across this tester, this Klein Tools RT310, and it had arc fault protection. And I was like, I don't even know what arc fault protection is. If you're not familiar, an arc fault is a parallel arc. Current is chooching through your hot and it's jumping to neutral or it's jumping to ground. You have your hot, your neutral, and your ground. They're all running parallel, right? And so it's the arc between those other conductors in the circuit. And they can be quick. Something that will probably trip your arc fault are things like really old motors with really worn out brushes, things that are really electrically noisy. While doing research for this project, I was told like, okay, so this simulates parallel arc noise, and that's what trips the arc fault in your outlet or your house breaker or whatever. What does it mean that it simulates that noise? And what does that look like? Because I can easily visualize, 30 milliamps of current traveling through a ground, but I can't visualize a parallel arc fault. Another reason why arc fault is going to be important is because you're going to see what this tester does, and you're going to be surprised that it doesn't just trip your normal breaker. Your normal breakers are not that quick to react. That's why usually it takes a while. Like if you're overloading your circuit in your house, it usually takes a few minutes for the thermals to heat up enough to pop that thing open. They're great for like a direct short. I mean, they're almost instantaneous, but nuisance or intermittent faults that would cause arcing, they're not really that good for because it's so quick. It doesn't have time to heat up the thermals in there. That's where arc fault protection comes into play. It's going to detect the sharp spikes in current or the heavy noise in the current and be like, whoa, something's going on here and this isn't that safe. So with all that being said, let's kind of look at the tester. Let's get this circuit turned on, and then I want to show you the signal that this thing actually produces. And I think it ended up being a really fun experiment. This whole circuit that I have wired up here is run to my washroom because, like I said earlier, all of the circuits down here are already arc fault protected. The breakers in my service panel are more sensitive to arc fault protection or to arc faults than an outlet like this is, which I think is like a really good thing. Let's look over the tool. Let's explain some of the parts of the tool if you're not like familiar with some of this stuff would mean. And then let's take a look at that arc fault waveform and see what's going on there. So it comes with this little tool. I'm sure you might know, but it comes with batteries. So it's self-powered. You got to power it on. It does have an auto shutoff, which I really like. And the auto shutoff on it's like maybe a minute. Some nice gray indicators, like the tool is hefty, like it feels like it'll work well in a construction environment. We have ground fault, arc fault, and 30 milliamp. The 30 milliamp is for a different type of ground fault protection system that is going to be more commercial or industrial applications. So if you're using this for residential testing and you're like, what in the heck is this 30 milliamp button for? It's basically it's simulating a ground fault, but instead of like that 6 to 7 milliamps of current on the ground, it's going to be a full 30 milliamps of current, which is much, much higher. And then we have our arc fault. I don't even believe it'll output a signal if it flags it for any kind of faults. And then it's just letting us know this circuit is energized. And we can turn off our circuit and see, okay, open hot, not energized. Let's take a look at what is actually going on and how violent this tester can be, because this tester just throws current into the circuit. Now it does it really quick, and that's why it's not going to trip a normal breaker. Like in my little chain of circuitry here, you know, this little breaker here is only rated for 10 amps. And you're going to see that this tester far exceeds that, and it's actually a really cool little experiment. So I've got the scope set up here. We're going to probe the hot here, and we're going to see how much current draw this little guy can do. So we'll press play here. You see a little bit of a squiggly. The scaling is really high, but that's the amount of current from what's going on here. This is just like a 25 watt light bulb. Yeah, let's go ahead and activate this thing and see what happens. Okay, it was quick. There it is. And so that one, it actually worked pretty well. Most of the tests I've been doing, it's 3 pulses, and you can see they're like basically vertical. I mean, it's just a switch in there that's just like boop, like, and it just overloads it. And these pulses are like just over 30 milliseconds apart, and usually it does 3 and then it fully collapses. But they're measuring at 70 amps. So this thing is just like punching 70 amps of current through your system. And I have, you know, I have this 10 amp circuit breaker here. I've got, you know, and then the 15 amp breaker for the circuit panel. They're not even phased at all. However, you know, the arc fault protection in the panel is more sensitive than this outlet is, because this outlet will take 3 punches before it trips. I can't test the one in the panel for sure, but I'm pretty sure on the first punch of 70 amps, it just trips it like that. Let's try it again, see what we get. Here we go. Okay, so we get 2, and then we can see right here, this little event here. So it's like the peak of our punch, the collapse, and then this is as, you know, the outlet trips open, and then it kind of settles, and then it just flatlines. So I just thought that was really cool, and I would have never suspected, like, for a little, you know, what's this thing, like 35, 40 bucks, to be, you know, so powerful in what it does. And I was like, when I was messing around it with just like the normal outlets down in my basement, it was tripping the breaker just all the time. And so, like I said, I had to find a different circuit, but very cool. That's the Klein Tools RT310. I would recommend. I think this is a great tester. Anyways, thanks for watching me. If you guys are learning this stuff, I've got a ton of other videos, and I'll check you on the next one.